Tell us a little bit, for those who don't know much about you, tell us a little bit about your story, sort of how you got to this point where you studied psychology and helping all these high performance people.
Yeah. I was born in Zimbabwe and we had a farm there. And obviously with the war veterans coming on and the reallocation of farmlands, we had to leave our farm, move over to South Africa. So, it was leaving the family home behind, everything that you owned, all your memories, everything like that. Moving over to South Africa to an all-boys school called Maritzburg College, which was predominantly, was known as a rugby school, and very much the military-style leadership was imposed, where you can't walk on higher ground, you have to earn your way up and all that kind of approach, which was an interesting, I call them experiments to go through, because you can always lean back on that kind of information or what I currently do. Then I obviously was good enough at rugby to be seen by someone or valued by someone, got a scholarship to University of Cape Town, where I studied psychology and organizational psychology, and at the same time played rugby. Alongside it, I think education was always the first, and then rugby was what I played with it. Rugby just happened to take off, and played for a team called Stormers, which is the representative of the Western Cape, which was where University of Cape Town was.
Yeah.
And from that got a contract over at Exeter Chiefs, which is where I moved over to for 9 years. I totaled my career there. Asked my current wife to marry me just before we moved over from South Africa. So we had 4 kids in the time, and then retired in 2022 to where I am now, in terms of, I bought this business from someone that had prostate cancer. So they were going to shut down the business. And I said, it would be a shame to see all of your knowledge, experience, structures, strategies go to waste. Because I had also started up an e-commerce business called The Gaming Athlete, because it was trying to bring health and wellness into gamers. And I tried to start that in lockdown. Quickly discovered there was a lot that I didn't know. And ultimate responsibility as a core principal as well. The reason it didn't work was because I didn't know enough. I didn't lead it well enough. I made silly decisions. So I need to go and learn all of those, so that if I ever wanted to come back to it, I would know exactly how to run it. And then retiring, starting up the business, having our 4th child. To add a bit of context, my wife is a chartered accountant. She's got her own practice. So she's also quite driven. So the balance in terms of the household is very much how we can still spend as much time as we possibly can with our kids while they're young, but also make sure that the ambition side of it isn't left because of that, or you're either ambitious or you have a family, you can't do both. And we're like, let's see what we can do. My mom also lives with us. My in-laws also live with us. So we very much go by a principle of Ubuntu, which is we are who we are through others. So we rely on community. I think we quickly realized that there's no badge for doing it all on your own and doing it the hard way. Because often people say, "Are you cheating?" And we say, "Well, we're not cheating. We're just doing what we probably should do as humans, where we're, for our kids to have solid relationships. It can't just be us." So, I'm trying to give as much context as to, yes, I've got a leadership development business, but realistically, it's the human soul, the human spirit, and how we can flourish regardless of what's going on around us. So when you said how you manage yourself in high pressure environments, are we talking about business? Are we talking about at home? We're talking about, there's so many different areas, and there's some fundamental principles that overlap with all of those. And I think that's where the secret lies. So that's how I got to where I am today.
Yeah. And it's kind of, I do wonder, like, being a former athlete and having that transition into creating your own business and being in that environment, has that kind of laid the foundation for your ongoing success as well? Is all the stuff you sort of learned through sport, health and wellness really been important for you now moving into this new area?
I always say 2 truths can exist at the same time. So yes, but I also think it's been since retiring, it's been quite a journey of learning far more about the human mind than I thought you'd have to, because what sport gives you is structures automatically. Like, you don't have to think about, as long as I'm in the right clothes, I pitch up, someone tells me how to gym, when we're gymming, what meeting we're going to, how I need to prep for that, who we're playing this weekend, where we're going on off. Like, I don't have to do any of that, because they want you to just focus on playing the best that you can play. So you actually naturally, it's so easy to build up structures in that environment where the only thing that's left is who you are. And like, I think that's the scary bit, is sometimes you will succeed because of who you are. Sometimes you'll fail because you haven't got yourself in the right environment. So who you are is probably not meant for that environment. So the structures are the thing that really reveal the essence that which you have. And I think that's where sometimes when you come out of that environment, I've had to learn the other way around, where I've had to learn my own structures. And so that it doesn't matter what change is going on around me, I know what I need to perform regardless of where I'm at. So yes, sport allows me, and I look back, it allows me to recognize from a team perspective, an individual perspective, a leadership perspective. There's so many intense pressure moment learns that you can't learn in a book. You can't learn in most businesses, especially in the ones that I've been dealing with, is because they're not currently operating at that level, because it's in a business world where there's always pressure, but there's this constant timeline without any off seasons, pre-seasons, check-ins. It's so different. And I was even probably chatting to my wife this morning, is when you have to go look at an HR process to get rid of an employee, it's so impersonal. Whereas in sporting environment, it was like, if you're not performing, we're having a conversation. Do you want to perform? Yes. Do you want to perform? No. Well, can I help you? Or is this where you want to be? I kind of want to leave. Okay, let's go. And you like, that's that high performing thing where you've got to have character, you've got to have structures, you've got so many elements that you get tested on all the time, that when I said two truths can exist at the same time, those learns now have really helped me. But I also have to learn other elements that you don't learn in sport. So,
and it's also managing those stresses, like you say, touching on what you said earlier about, you've got people there, particularly in a team sport, more than anything, you have all those sort of that backup, that support team around you that are going to help you with every aspect of your health, your fitness, your nutrition, how you manage your life and your training and all this sort of stuff, which obviously once you leave that and you go into developing your own business, it kind of is all on you, really, as you said. Yes, as you grow and become more successful, you can bring all these other people in to support you and help you, but it still really comes down to you. And then again, going back to what you said previously about high pressure, it could be high pressure in business, your home life,